Day 10.
10.
Same.
Same.
Yeah,
Like
same.
insane. Same. That was so lame, I'm sorry.
Yeah, you were pretty lame.
That was pretty lame.
I'm not gonna lie.
Okay. Day 10. I got my hair cut and colored, which I'm sure you've noticed because it's straight. And it will be straight for the next couple days because I hate washing my hair. So, back to college Nicole when I straightened my hair. But it was long overdue. So anyways, on with the vlog. Day 10. Do you want to open 10?
Yeah. Where is 10?
I think it's towards the top.
Oh, jeez. Who is it? JP again.
I think JP made this calendar.
Yeah, it's not an Aldi calendar, it's a JP. Cabernet Syrah. Oh, actually.
Syrah, Syrah, Syrah.
It's a Cabernet Syrah. Usually it's Cabernet
Sauvignon.
Sauvignon. It's Cabernet
It's the blend.
Syrah.
The blend.
Yeah.
Of Cab and Syrah, which
think I've
are
had-
two of my favorite wines.
I don't think I've ever had a Cab Syrah before.
Smells like wine.
Trusty.
Prost. Super.
Tumbo.
I like it. It's fine. It's very mild. Very mild.
I feel like maybe I have like dinner still in my mouth.
You should have a drink of water. This would go with pasta. It's fine. Though
Don't
dinner
taste it
would have
very
went
much.
better with a white wine, but
Yeah.
it's very mild.
Yeah.
It
I
does
like barely
not-
can taste it.
Does not have tons of flavor.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan. I don't
If
really
you're
smell much
offended
either.
by red wines, this is probably a good one to start.
I think it has
because-
a bunch of flavor though.
No.
I'm sure that maybe this is why there's not many. I've never has tasted a Cabernet Syrah before.
I wouldn't blame it on that because cabs are good and Syrahs are good.
Yeah, but putting together two good things isn't always a good thing.
I guess.
Like I like cheeseburgers and swimming, but the two of them don't go well together.
You know what? I bet you could do that.
You
If you
could, but it wouldn't be
really
fun.
put your mind to it, you could tread water and eat a cheeseburger.
Yeah, but it wouldn't be better. The two wouldn't be
What
better.
if you ate a cheeseburger while on a raft? Like in a pool.
It'd be nice, like lounging, eating a cheeseburger, drinking some
That's my kind of vacation.
beer. Yeah, I mean that'd be good.
You would just be fat. Just drinking beer and eat a cheeseburger on a floaty in the pool. Just like so American.
But that's not like combining the two.
I guess
things.
that's not swimming.
No, that's like drinking a Cabernet and drinking a Syrah, one in each hand. That's what that's like.
That's fair. That's fair.
Oh, hi Yoshi.
Alright, so it's okay.
Not
It's
a big fan.
the most inoffensive wine I think that could ever exist because it doesn't have hardly any flavor.
I mean, I'll drink it, but it's mostly.
I'm gonna drink it because I feel like I'm drinking like a flat, mild grape juice.
Yeah.
Ouch, JP, we're coming through
Yeah,
you
really
hard.
just-
I'm so
yeah.
sorry.
Sorry, JP.
Alright, well, on that note, let's jump into the vlog and we'll catch you guys tomorrow. Cheers.
Cheers.
Please wave.
Yeah, I did.
Alright guys, welcome back to the Vlogmas. Yay. My hair's kind of crazy, but whatever. I got my coffee and Zoe's not napping, but she's in her bedroom and I got a really fun activity to share with you guys today for like Zoe, for toddler age or whatever. So you can see our pants drying in the background there. We'll see if Yosh lets me actually do this video, but let's go ahead and jump right in. So lately I have been super into sensory bins. Okay, so for those of you who maybe don't know what a sensory bin is, it's kind of like, it seems like it's all the rage right now on Pinterest. Maybe that's just because I'm Googling it. But sensory bins are basically a bin full of different items causing a sensory experience for your child. So usually it's like a hard substance like beans or rice or popcorn kernels, which is what she had in November, was popcorn kernels. But this month I wanted to do something nice and soft and fluffy. And so I did cotton balls, which kind of look like snow. And we actually have been grouping them together and then throwing them at each other. And that has been really fun to have a snowball fight in the house. And these are much easier to pick up than rice or popcorn kernels. So I've been very pleased about that. But yeah, so then you include maybe some hard things or some things that make sound or different size and textures of objects, and that makes up your sensory bin. And the whole point is to not put too much stuff in there, but just like a little bit here and there. So I'll show you how I switch out maybe week by week the different activities we do with our sensory bin. And then this just happens to be the base of our sensory bin for December. Last month was November, and we focused on Thanksgiving and fall in her sensory bin. So it was popcorn, like the popcorn kernels, and I had some fake leaves and different activities and stuff, and she enjoyed that. And then this month I wanted to focus on snow, of course, snow and Christmas, that kind of stuff. I like doing kind of a theme bin for that month. There's lots of options if you want to make fake snow. I didn't feel like Zoe was ready for that, nor did I want to pick up fake, like fluffy whatever snow in my house constantly sweeping, because rice was enough of a mess. So I just didn't want to go there with the like fake baking soda snow. But there is plenty of options if your child's older and will keep things in the bin. So I went with cotton balls, and we have been calling them snowballs. I made this a couple days ago and she has been loving it. And I have 2 different scoops in here. They're just actually some German scoops, so I don't actually use them, so I just threw them in here. One is a bigger one, and then I have a small one so she can practice scooping with the scoops. And then I went ahead and put her baby food container in here, what I used to make purees and freeze stuff in for her when she was baby. And then it's really fun. This is different than any of the other ones because for November we just had a round container, like a bowl that she could scoop into. But this one I went ahead and then she can put one in each one, and she's been actually having just a lot of fun doing that and filling them all up. And then Derek or I will sit down with her and we'll do one, and then she'll do one, and she smushes them in and takes them out, and just has been having a lot of fun actually with these. So if that's as far as you want to go with the container, this little bin is from IKEA. It has a little lid that goes on it, and I put it on top of a shelf when we're not playing with it so she can't just like toss it all over. But if your kid's a little older, maybe slightly less in a tossing phase, feel free to leave it down for them. They can get into it when they want. Zoe really loves, so she just asks. She'll say snowball or ricey is what she called it for a while, because we started the bins with rice. And again, this is just our December bin. So to jazz things up so it's not just like this, so she doesn't get bored kind of thing, I like to do different activities with each thing. I try to change out the activity kind of weekly, or if I notice she's getting bored with an activity, I change it out. But then I have something fun to do with her kind of on theme. So when I first make a sensory bin, first thing I do is I think about a book. And one of my favorite books for winter is Penguin and Pinecone. It is by Selena Yoon, I believe is how you say it. But there's a whole series of these penguin ones. There's like Penguin on Vacation, Penguin in Love, and Penguin and Pumpkin, which I would die for Penguin and Pumpkin. I have yet to find it. But this was the first one I found. And it's a story about friendship. So this little penguin lives in the Arctic, and he finds a little pine cone, and he doesn't know what it is, but the pine cone's really cold, and so they go on adventures, and he makes a little scarf for the pine cone, and then Grandpa tells him that, you know, the pine cone doesn't belong here, and he goes on a journey to find the forest, and they play all day, and then he has to get back home, so he leaves Pinecone there, and then he thinks about Pinecone a lot, and he decides to set off and find out how Pinecone's doing, and Pinecone has grown into a big strong tree, and they're best friends. And then it's like when you give love, it grows. So all these other penguins found pine cones that then become pine trees, and it's just such a precious story. I think it's so fun to read, and I just, come on, little cute penguins and pine cones, what's not to love? So for this week, I've themed it around this book. Actually, I've themed the whole bin around this book, which is where I started. And to go with that theme, I found this tube of animals, which I'll probably include in my stocking stuffer video, because although it's not a stocking stuffer for her, it's for this bin. I think these little animal tubes would make a great stocking stuffer. So they have a whole bunch of ones. I grabbed the penguin one, and then there's a whole bunch of different types of penguins in here. And then I've buried them in here. I buried them in the snow, so they sink to the bottom actually pretty easily. And then she has to root around and find them. And then there he is, and he's covered in snow. She can then put him in her little bin here. We have some cardboard tubes. She made a slide earlier with the penguins, so they were sliding down. And so just some penguins, we can talk about penguin and pinecone to go with this. There's a whole bunch, like I said, of different penguins in this tube. And so I'll just put them in the bin for her to like find and ask her to find the penguins, count them, that kind of stuff. And to go along with the story, I made the little felt pine cone. I thought about including a real pine cone, but they're so pokey that I thought they'd just tear the cotton balls apart. So I just made a little felt pine cone. Okay, so what I did to make this little adorable felt pine cone was I found a template online and I kind of just traced it and then darkened it up, and then I went ahead and I cut all this out, and that gave me my base layer. And then I went and cut out basically, okay, got that top point, he's gone. And then I cut each layer out little by little and traced it and cut it. So I have, before I glue this all together, I'll show you. So like here's the bottom layer, here's the next layer, here's the layer after that, and I just left some so that I could glue it all together, and then lined everything up. And then I glued it all, I'm gonna glue it all together here in a minute, and then I'll have a nice little felt pine cone to put into her sensory bin. Okay, so I have it all hot glued together. You can see on the back, again, it's just like that one outline piece. And then I went layer by layer and just cut things out in the, close to the template. Actually, I think it's actually pretty close. So you can kind of see the template, and then I just cut things out and layer by layer just glued them on, and leaving a bigger piece on the bottom to make sure I have space to glue things together and to give it a little bit of that height. So yeah, there's that. And then I have the little scarf that they have in the book that she can kind of wrap around Pinecone to keep warm. Really cute. Turned out really cute. And not too bad. I think it maybe took me 10-15 minutes. And I'll put him in the bin. And then I made a little scarf to go in the bin too. So we'll put penguins in there, and we'll put the pine cone in there, and we'll read the book, and we can talk about finding the pine cone and then putting the scarf on the pine cone to keep it warm. Maybe we can put the scarf on penguin even. You know, really wrap them up, make them cozy as we follow along in the book. And then I just grabbed one of the bottle brush trees off of our table, and we can talk about how the pine cone grows into the big strong tree, and we can even wrap the scarf around the tree like in the book. So we can just follow along actively with the story. So I always try to like theme a bin like that with one of the books so we can follow along. So I thought that was really fun for December. That's one of the weeks is penguin and pine cone. And then another fun activity that we can do with it is she has a memory game that she, obviously we're not playing memory yet, she's only 2, but I can take the pairs, like this fire. I tried to pick ones that go with like maybe outdoorsy, wintry theme or whatever, just because I'm that crazy. Does not matter. So I would take the fire one and I'd tuck it in the bin, and then I'd put the fire one off to the side for me. Same with the mountains. So I'd tuck them all into the bin, maybe hide them. And then when we have a bunch tucked into the bin, we'll hide them a little bit, and I'll say, okay, can you find me the forest? Can you find me the trees? And then she can pull them up and be like, okay, that doesn't look the same. Okay, that one doesn't look the same. Oh, okay, these look the same. Yay, they match. So she's working on pattern recognition. She's working on matching. Well, not pattern recognition really, but we'll get to that in a minute. But she's working on matching, and then we'll go through, and I can even, once we've done it a couple times, I could lay the sets, these sets out in an order, maybe like 4 at a time, and then she could then find them in the bin and lay them on top. So it's a little more of an independent activity as she's played it more and more, and that's been really fun. She's really enjoyed doing that. You can probably hear her in there. She's not happy. She's not wanting to take a nap. And then one of the other things I have, besides just a memory game, I also have little German flashcards. So it will say the German word and the animal, and I'll tuck that in there. And then I have the English one, I'll set that off to the side. So it will be the exact same kind of idea as matching, but we're learning German words at the same time. But they have the pictures, so she'll be able to match it, and we can say, okay, fish, I'm pretty sure it's fish, and we'll put it on the fish. And then mouse, in German, mouse. But this will be a good way for her to learn some German and myself to learn some German. And again, we're matching some animals, and I just picked some animals that I felt like might relate to kind of winter, fall, that kind of stuff. So that's another activity you can do with your sensory bin, rather than just having them play with just the sensory bin. Because while that's fun and they enjoy scooping and stuff, I like to have activities that I can get involved with her, and she will then be engaged and learning something new as well. So one of the other activities I have is for pattern recognition. I drew up these little patterns, little circle patterns, and colored them in. And these are from her November bin. I actually have some little jingle bells coming, which I think would be so fun in here. But for her November bin, what I did was have walnuts. I took some walnuts because they were a nice different texture and size than the popcorn that I had, the popcorn kernels in her bin. So what I did was I painted the top of each one of them, little different colors, and there were a couple of each color, red, purple, orange, and yellow. I felt like they were fall colors. And then I drew little circles on pieces of paper and just colored them in the colors I had for the walnuts in different patterns. And then she could either scoop them out of the bin with her scoop, they fit in there perfect, or she could just pull them out of the bin and match them to the patterns. And it took a little while for her to learn how to do that. She'd never done anything like that, but then she kind of got the hang of it and got excited. So I'm excited to get some there's 12 different colors of the jingle bells, 2 of each color, I believe. They'll be here in a couple days, so this will be an activity we do later, but I wanted to get in here and show you guys the different ideas that you could do. And I'll do the same thing. I'll just draw some circles, I'll color them in the colors of the jingle bells in different patterns. Maybe with so many different colors, I'll do some more complicated patterns now that she's done it a couple times already with November. And yeah, it was just fun, and it adds a different texture, which is really nice, and the different colors, and they were fun for her to match up patterns, and it was fun for something different for me to do with her as well. So I think for December, the jingle bells will be fun because they'll jingle, so that'll be a different sensory experience for her in here. But it'd be fun if you did maybe plastic ornaments, if you had some maybe miniature plastic ornaments, or even some large plastic ornaments for your December bin if you celebrate Christmas. You know, kind of, yeah, whatever you feel. I didn't have any of those. Couldn't find any that I liked either. I thought the jingle bells were really cute. So we'll be doing those. And then for the last activity for the December bin that we have, I have all of these plastic letters. I just got them at HEMA actually over the summer. They're actually sand toys. Oops. They're actually sand toys, but we don't use them as sand toys. I thought they were a fun way. Our fridge isn't magnetic, so I couldn't get her fridge magnet letters to learn letters with. But if you have some of those lying around, this is the same idea. So we have these ones, and then I have these alphabet flashcards from the Many Little Joys, and I will link it down below for you guys. They're actually a free printable from her, and I am obsessed. I have her name, Z-O-E-Y, hanging on her pin board in her playroom so she can start to recognize her name. We work on the letter A, we go through the alphabet. She has fun. There is uppercase and lowercase in here, so she can kind of match up the letters when we get to that point. We're obviously not there yet. But what you can do is you can lay out a word like their name, Z-O-E-Y, in the letters, and then you can bury the corresponding large letters inside the snow, and they have to dig around, find the letter, and then figure out how to match it on each one. So they're starting to recognize different letters. They're starting to recognize their name. We will do probably Zoe, definitely. We can do ABCs. We can do each letter actually at different times if we wanted. We'll do the word snow just because it's snow, how fun. So that's a really just fun activity, and they're starting to learn a little bit of letters. They're starting to recognize things. I explained to her over and over that that is her name. One of the fun things she does with these actually is she'll just rearrange random letters and she'll just say a word. Like the other day, she just put a bunch of like random letters together. It was like, she did start it with C, but that was an entirely accident, I'm sure. But then there was like C, X, F, M or something she put together, and she was like, cookie. And I was like, oh, does that spell cookie? And she was like, yep. And I was like, oh, okay. So it's just fun for them. Again, this is a great free printable. I printed them out and then I just laminated them because I have a little laminator. So I will be able to use them forever. So I think they're great, and I'll link them down below for you guys. Hopefully that just gave you some fun ideas of what to do with a sensory bin. You can also pair it with any books. So I love this book as well too. This is one of our newer ones. It's called Over and Under the Snow. And this little girl goes cross-country skiing with her dad, which is so cute, and we used to cross-country ski all the time in Washington. And they talk about different forest animals and what the forest animals are doing over and under the snow, and they roast hot dogs, and she goes to bed and dreams of forest animals. I mean, so precious. And so an owl is in there, so we have an owl stuffed animal. It's even a little puppet actually. And we can like fly it over the snow and talk about that and find the owl in here. And then there's a bear. Our bear makes noise. And a squirrel, and our squirrel makes noise. And we can bury them in the snow and talk about how bears hibernate in the winter and squirrels run and store food and, you know, all of that stuff. But obviously she's not really taking any of that in because she's 2. But just anything you can kind of pair with a book I think is great, holds their attention a little longer. There's tons of things you can do with a sensory bin. So I've been a big fan of doing a couple activities with her, and the activities are kind of the same every month. There's a book, there's something to do with letters, and there's like some kind of pattern and color kind of thing, and then just this stuff changes out. So it's really fun, easy to do, not expensive. I think the bin from IKEA was like €2 or €3. I'm sure you might have one of these just laying around. And then, I mean, this was like €2 for this giant thing of cotton balls. And then I'll just pack this in a Ziploc bag when I'm done, so that if and when we decide to get cotton balls out again, I already have them. And I've done that with the popcorn, and I've done that with the rice as well. I don't know how well they're gonna hold up depending on when I get back to them, but I wanted that option. I didn't want to just like throw it away, because why? That's wasteful. So yeah, so I'll keep them, hang on to them, decide for other projects. Who knows, another sensory bin, we may want popcorn or rice or cotton balls or who knows. But she's been having a lot of fun with this. She seriously couldn't even wait for me to finish. She saw the cotton balls and grabbed it and like got to work. So I hope you guys found an activity you can do with your toddler, maybe your young child. You can always, like I said, do the fake snow if they're ready for something like that, which is really fun. It's just a fun indoor activity for days we can't leave because it's pouring rain outside or snowing, depending on where you live. So check back in with us tomorrow. We look forward to seeing you again.
Mommy.
You want me to stack?
Yep.
Watch, we can stack them. 1, 2.
No stack, Mommy.
No stack? What do you want me to do with it?
Mommy, Papa.